The second tip is that if you lead a life that is based upon relationships with other people, which always is, you have your wife, your spouses, your children, and you lead a life of constant conflict and anger, fighting with each other, then you say we are meditating. How can you meditate in those circumstances? It is necessary to have a peaceful life around you in order to meditate better. So all these things impact. It's not a question of food only. It's a question of your way of life. So if you are in a constant struggle, constant fight, constant trouble with people around you, you can't meditate properly. I've seen people. I was staying with a family. They were always having a dispute. The man would shout and say, "Damn it, I don't care for you, I'm going to meditate now." I didn't know what kind of meditation that was. So when your anger, what does anger do to us? Imagine this. Anger scatters our attention even more. And you can see it. If you have make a visual image of anger, and you're getting angry, you see it going like this. It's actually spreading out from you, and you can't collect it together for quite a while. So that is why, if your life is not peaceful, now that's a whole big subject, how to make life peaceful. To say I am meditating against all odds is no use. You can't meditate against all odds because you won't be meditating. You'll be thinking about those odds. So that is why it is necessary to deal with these things, your environment around yourself, in a different way, and to see that there's a great advantage in it. They say, speech is silver, but silence is golden. Sometimes running away is diamond. When you have problems, very often we exaggerate and increase those problems by trying to speak more. If we speak less, it is sometimes better. A holy man once came here, and I heard his talk. A young lady got up and said to that holy man, "Master, I have a problem. My husband and I are constantly fighting. Can you find a solution for that?" He said, "Yes, I have a solution." He said a similar case happened in India to another holy man. So I'm going to tell you the same solution that worked there. A woman complained to the holy man in India, "My husband and I, we fight all the time. Any solution?" He said, "Yes, bring a bottle of water and I'll bless it. It'll help you." So she brought a bottle of water, and the holy man blessed with some mantra on it and said, "Now take it." She said, "How often should I give it to my husband?" He said, "Not for your husband. It's for you. And the manner of taking it is, when your husband is arguing, you take one sip of this and hold in your mouth till he stops talking. Then swallow it. If he starts talking again, take another sip, and there'll be peace in the house." So the method was very simple, that very often by trying to argue back, we are exaggerating, increasing the tension and not solving it. Sometimes it is good not to respond, because the response does not always solve a problem. Secondly, there's an art of smiling. If you smile, very often the matter disappears there. Sometimes you're criticized for smiling at something serious being discussed. Smile more. And it is impossible to carry on a fight when the other person keeps on smiling. So I read a book long ago by Dale Carnegie. The book was How to Win Friends and Influence People. I like the chapter on smiling. In that he says, smiling can solve a lot of problems. And even if you are not feeling like smiling, you should smile. Even if you have to pretend that you are smiling, even then do so, it helps you. And ultimately, a pretended smile turns out a real smile when you find the effect of it. So that is why If you want to maintain a peaceful atmosphere, very often you have to just accept, because you can't solve problems by more argument. And we've seen that in life. So to keep on arguing over the same thing. And people argue over things which have no significance in their life. Later on they think twice, what was I arguing about? What is the value of all that what we were discussing? It had no value at all. Just on some simple point. No, the book says this. No, I read it, it didn't say this. Okay, you keep on arguing and fight over it and get angry and don't speak to each other for 2 days. Who cares what the book says? It was not even an important book. Just because you pick up an argument. Then there's another thing, and that is we work outside in our workplaces. We go to office, we go to business, we have our jobs, and we get upset at the jobs. It always happens, we don't always get the right bosses. Some bosses are nasty to us, some partners are unfair to us, and we have some disappointments in our life. What do? We can't say anything there, so we come home and fight there. We fight, and the spouse or the children are wondering what is the fight about. We don't tell them the fight was there actually in the office or in the business, and we're just taking it out at home. So somebody had told me a very interesting way to deal with it. They said that you should have a nice pot of flowers and some plants in your bathroom. I said, how does that help? He says, when you get angry in the office or business place, come and lock yourself in the bathroom and take all your anger out on those plants. Those plants won't react and you will feel calm after that. The idea is to get these things off from your chest instead of taking it out on people who will react again like yourself without knowing what the reason for this is. So you just get it off your chest.